Every year and every Worlds is a fresh start. Every team starts out 0-0, and it is a new opportunity to get hyped up and excited about your team, your players, your region. You can trash talk, you can say whatever you want because nobody knows what is going to happen just yet. No teams have sucked, no teams have overperformed or whatever. And time again, we hear how this is going to be North America's year, this is going to be the West year, whatever. I am Germ, the host of Sheep Esports here on YouTube, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about a couple of different instances of people saying that NA might be a little bit better this year than some people are expecting, and we're going to decide whether you guys are going to believe it or not this year, or if we're going to buy into the hype. Of course, as always, all of our coverage here on YouTube is powered by Holy. Definitely check out that first link in the description below and use discount code SE5 to get a nice little discount on great tasting energy drinks that are healthier than the competition. That sounds great to me. I actually have a shipment of it on the way to me right now. I can't wait to get my package. You guys should order some as well. With that being said, let's get right into this video today. First, I want to start out with this clip from the dive. I saw this. This came across my Twitter from David Shynock. He tweeted out, absolutely with Kobe on this one. At this point, just show me a scrim VOD rather than win-loss because it's meaningless, yet we latch onto them every time. And every year we do. When we're waiting for Worlds to start, obviously Worlds starts tomorrow, so we don't have to wait too much longer. But every year when we're waiting for Worlds to start, everyone wants to hear, you know, how is solo queue going? How's champions queue going? How are scrims going? And here is what the dive, this is Medios, Azale, and Kobe, what they had to say about what they've been hearing about some scrim results recently. I'll let this clip play real quick and then we'll talk about it.
A lot of people were putting them in tier lists and like putting them pretty low, and even I saw tier lists with them below Fnatic and all this stuff. So I feel like some of the TL guys kind of have a bit of a chip on their shoulder to come in here and show what they can do. And I have heard that they are super stomping scrims. So whether or not that means anything, I've heard they're kind of doing better than ever in scrims against the top European teams and stuff. So people were telling me that they've been pretty frightening, and I'm excited to see how they do. I have a lot of my hopes pinned on TL.
Do not tell me that scrim stuff right after you told me 100 Thieves were stomping scrim. Don't tell me the exact same setup here.
Would you rather I tell you that they're getting absolutely just stomped every game? F at 5 minutes.
Tell me anything and everything.
Tell me they're learning a lot. They're having productive scrims.
Yeah.
As long as it's different from 100 Thieves story, then I'm down with it.
So he said a couple of things there. He said, obviously, you know, what he's hearing is TL is looking pretty frightening. He also said they're super stomping scrims, not just winning in scrims. And obviously that can be a good and bad thing. Obviously, the scrim debate happens all the time, and people talk about whether you should take scrims seriously and even attempt to super stomp them, or if you should be trying to learn and experiment and, you know, want to learn more from scrims because they are a practice environment, then you should be trying to win scrims. Obviously, we know that throughout the history of League of Legends, sometimes Eastern teams are known for hiding strategies or experimenting or limit testing in scrims. I know G2, like Caps specifically, has been known to have some, you know, pretty fun scrims sometimes where they're trying to learn stuff. And also oftentimes by stomping in a bunch of scrims, you just are practicing the early game and you're not actually practicing, you know, facing adversity or the mid game or the late game and stuff like that, and different setups that are inevitably going to happen in game. Because guess what? TL, whether they're super stomping in scrims or whether they're even going to have a good Worlds run this year, which is absolutely possible. Again, we have to remember that just last year, NRG was actually kind of the surprise team for the tournament in some ways, at least a surprise team from the West that actually outperformed all the other teams. So it's possible Team Liquid could come in this year and even do better than RNG did last year. It's not totally unreasonable. But guess what? TL is not going to super stomp their way all the way through Worlds. At some point, they're going to have a bad early game. At some point, they're going to face adversity. At some point, the other team is going to fight back. And if they're not getting that environment in their scrims, then super stomping scrims isn't really even doing them any good if that's not even what's going to happen on stage. And then oftentimes Western teams have some kind of mental block or mental hurdle or stage fright or whatever that doesn't even prevents them from even being able to play how they play in scrims on stage. So oftentimes it really just doesn't even matter. But of course, like he said, would you rather hear that they're doing well in scrims or doing poorly in scrims? I don't know. It probably depends who you ask. I did see this from the G2 subreddit as well. Again, here, same type of stuff. Azale said he heard TL are stomping G2 and Fnatic in scrims. For their podcast, he said he's hearing TL stomping the top EU teams in scrims. He said he calls TL very frightening. And then, you know, some of the G2 fans are saying, hey, if TL's doing good in scrims, that's a good thing. That means better practice for G2. That means better practice for some of these other Western teams. Because for so long, you know, G2 has been the only only top team in the West where they haven't had a ton of competition. They haven't been able to get great scrims. They haven't been able to get great practice. So if somebody is beating G2 or competing with G2 or whatever in scrims, maybe that'll be motivating. Maybe that'll be a great practice environment, and maybe that will help prepare some of these other Western teams. We also heard even more stuff. I have a bunch of kind of like interviews and clips and headlines and stuff I want to go through. But yikes, saying NA is actually looking much better than they've done in the last years I've ever watched them and played against them. I think NA is looking pretty good this year, so I'm excited to see how they will do. His quote down here below actually goes on to say, he's like, I'm excited to see how they will do. Maybe they'll choke, maybe they won't, but I think they look good. So again, obviously pro players are not necessarily always the best evaluators of talent or the best analysts or whatever. Just because you're a really talented player doesn't mean you can necessarily determine who's good and bad and all that stuff. It's definitely two different talents and traits, and maybe he's just being nice. Maybe he's even talking tongue-in-cheek. I don't know. But again, there's another person out there saying, hey, NA is actually looking pretty good. And yes, I did talk about how 100 Thieves was doing well in scrims as well and then didn't do that good. But guess what? FlyQuest and TL have been on another level from 100 Thieves a whole year. 100 Thieves wasn't even expected to make it to Worlds. Obviously, it's thanks to the Cloud9 collapse and maybe some of the drama they have going on over there and stuff like that. But TL specifically has been the best team in NA throughout all the year except in the summer finals. And FlyQuest has consistently been above 100 Thieves. So just because 100 Thieves are doing well in scrims and drop the ball doesn't necessarily mean that the other NA teams are going to suck or that 100 Thieves result is indicative of North America as a region in this year. We also have APA on losing finals, being better than G2 right now from scrims, and fans should have high expectations this year. So again, another person saying that TL has been beating G2 in scrims and has been looking better than G2 in scrims so far. Again, do with that what you will. We also have some other random headlines and stuff that I did want to cover and just bring to you guys real quick, just to kind of get a quick wrap up of everything that's going on before we actually get into the World Swiss stage tomorrow. Bwipo talking about how he still has more that he wants to achieve. He wants to help put NA on the international map and establish the LCS as more than just a one-team region. He aims to bring passion to the league. Well, I think I've done that in some ways. I believe I can do even more. So Bwipo sounding pretty motivated, pretty inspired, pretty upbeat right now. Hopefully, carrying off the momentum of his LCS Finals win and the team's LCS Finals win, they'll be able to do some stuff at Worlds. I'd be very, very excited for that. A motivated Bwipo and a motivated FlyQuest could be a scary team, but FlyQuest is going to be taking on Gigabyte Marines in that first round matchup against Levi, and Levi with some trash talk in this Ashley Kang interview saying, carry jungle matchup, I'll be Inspired. So throwing down the gauntlet and calling out Inspired. Obviously Inspired seen as one of the best junglers of all time in the West. Levi seen as a top tier jungler in the world as well. This is going to be a very, very interesting and fun matchup in the jungle, but Levi not even necessarily saying that Gigabyte Marines is going to beat FlyQuest, just that he's going to be Inspired. So let's see what happens there, but I can't wait for this jungle matchup. It's one of the most intriguing matchups of all of kind of this first round of Worlds to me. Really, it's going to be fun to watch how well FlyQuest will be able to handle Levi and how well Gigabyte Marines are going to be able to kind of keep Inspired under control. Also, we had this Bwipo insinuating that Quad was smashing caps in scrims. So, hey, do with that what you will. Was that happening? Was that going on? I don't know. Some more people saying, NA looking pretty good in a lot of scrims. Could it also just mean that G2 is maybe not looking so good in their scrims? I'm not sure. We had this from Caps, claiming seeing Faker win Worlds motivated him. I saw Faker win Worlds last year after not reaching that height in many years. I was motivated for sure, seeing that you never know if you'll get another shot at Worlds. So this could be the last one. I have to make it count. So again, hopefully that does mean that Caps has some kind of fire ignited under him. Obviously, G2 has been trying and struggling to regain their heights from like that 2018, 2019, 2020 era that they haven't really been able to get back to. But G2 has been a very, very strong team throughout this year. A lot of their quotes are saying, hey, they're ready to go. Caps seeing motivated, Caps wanting to regain his old form, and also just getting confirmation from people like Faker that even if you are a player from the past, you can still reach new heights. So that could be something cool to watch out for G2 and Caps coming in excited. Razork saying, I think it might be a really fiesta game. I'm not sure we really will need to see. If DK rewatch our summer finals, they'll for sure be like, oh, this team has some issues in closing the game, but we're a new Fnatic. Hopefully we don't throw leads. Hopefully. So I did hear some different quotes from Fnatic and stuff saying that they have fixed a bunch of things since the LEC summer split ended, and Fnatic players seem like they're seeming confident. Obviously the Fnatic team has a lot of talent, and if they can fix some stuff and get their mental and everything under control, they could definitely come into Worlds with some excitement. So hopefully some excitement for the West. Showmaker on his opinion of Humanoid. I thought this was pretty cool. He was asked during the LCK press conference for World on what matchup he's looking forward to in the first round, and this is his answer. There really isn't a team I want to face, but since we're facing top esports Team Liquid or Fnatic in our first matchup, I've always thought that Fnatic's Humanoid is the best mid laner in Europe by a huge margin, so I want to face Fnatic. So that's actually kind of cool. Showmaker having some very, very nice words from Humanoid, calling him the best mid laner in Europe. That's pretty cool. According to Hansama, scrims are way more productive than last year. I'm seeing a lot of rumors saying that G2 is struggling in scrims. They have a worse win rate than usual. But I've seen a small Hansama's interview a few minutes ago, and he says that they're trying a lot more strategies, probably trying quite some spicy drafts, which obviously means they're losing a lot more than usual. He said the scrims are way more productive than last year, where they would just play the same way, very one-dimensional. So like I said, even though it seems like G2 is maybe losing to some NA teams or losing to other teams in scrims, maybe they're actually learning a lot more from them, which is ultimately, at the end of the day, you should be caring more about improving and getting ready for your stage matches than winning scrims. So again, is it going to be better for TL to be dominating scrims or G2 to be learning from scrims? We're going to find out very soon. And finally, wrapping it up with this, Mickey, G2 wasn't ready in 2023, but in 2024, we can win it all. So plenty of reasons for both NA and EU fans, players, and teams to be excited heading into the Switch stage at Worlds. A lot of these quotes are going to age poorly. Some of them will hopefully age well, but I'm going to be rooting for all the Western teams as Worlds Swiss stage gets kicked off tomorrow. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then,